Welcome to the Native Diamond Podcast.
Oh, shit! What you waiting for?
What's up, everyone? 𝕻𝖕𝖜 here, back at it again with another podcast episode. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and before we get started with today's episode, I want to mention you can help support the podcast. There are links down below in the description. The support link is through Anchor, which is the distributor of my podcast. So any donation is greatly appreciated. And you don't have to do that to help support the podcast. You can share the podcast. Also, you can leave a sick rating. That also helps because these platforms do a terrible job of promoting new podcasts. So if you're a fan of this one and you want to help support your boy, that's how you do it. So, okay, I think that was a good enough intro. We can move on now. Anyways, I got to sit down with Nick and Jack of 𝕻𝖎 𝖻𝖎. They just signed to Famined Records. Famined Records are homies of the podcast. Anyway, I just want to shout out Famined Records. Okay, you guys should check them out as well. They have a sick lineup. Okay, not only do they have 𝕻𝖎 𝖻𝖎s and Galleons, they have so many other bands, so you guys should check out that roster, okay? That's all I gotta say. I'm not gonna stall any longer. Before we get into this episode, though, we are gonna play the newest song by 𝕻𝖎 𝖻𝖎s, which is called Restless. And also, stick around, because we're gonna play some more 𝕻𝖎 𝖻𝖎s in the mid-roll, alright? So today's all about 𝕻𝖎 𝖻𝖎s, people. Go ahead and grab a coffee or a beer, you know, whatever time of day it is. Let's get it ready, because we're gonna smash this motherfucker. Let's go. Play it. Hit play right now.
I can't sleep at night, you're on my mind. I think of you as I toss and turn. I'm restless by design. I wish I had the foresight to see what was staring right back at me. Lesson learned, but at what cost? Soldier
Yo, what's up, everyone? 𝕻𝖜 here. This is Native Diamond Podcast. Thanks for tuning in, as always. And today we're hanging out with Blue Eyed Giants, or at least a portion of the band from Brighton, UK. Jack and Nick, what's going on, guys?
Hello, what's going on, man?
Pretty good. Can't complain. Sunday afternoon where I'm at, and to my understanding, the way time works, it is 6 o'clock over there, p.m., right?
It is. Yeah, rainy day over here in England. Yeah,
Nice.
Rainy Sunday.
We were a bit confused with the time. We were like, oh, what is EST and GMT? We were like, oh, trying to figure out like what the time was going to be. And then I thought it was 7 p.m. And then Jack was like, no, it's 5 p.m. Oh, and then we were like, oh, no.
Dude, you know, it's the foolproof way that I do it now. I have iPhone, obviously, so I just like put in whatever town they're from or city. And then that way I know like what time I need to schedule. I don't know, that's the way I do it. But anyway, how has it been going? Like, I know it's been it feels like 2020 has, you know, manifested into this like version 2. So like, how has everything been going for you guys?
So sort of like what we were talking about earlier, like just before we started, was like 2020 for us was meant to be quite a big year. So we signed with Famined, and then we were like, cool, like this is our first time on a label, and we had a load of really good shows lined up. And then obviously coronavirus was just like, hell no, sit back down. So yeah, we kind of spent most of 2020 just writing, you know, we were all indoors.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, in our bedrooms. Yeah. So
explain that for a second. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off. My bad.
That's cool.
But like, so have you guys been writing remotely, or like, how's that been working collaboratively amongst the band?
So it's been difficult because like when just before the pandemic, we had recorded like the 4 singles that we were going to release. Mm-hmm. And then the pandemic hit, and we had to start writing the new stuff. And then usually it will be like a song. I'll come up with like a song idea, and then we'll take it into the room, and then everybody will work out their parts, and then we'll sort of jam around that. But because we haven't been able to like get in a room very much, it's just been like stuck in our bedroom individually, and we've just been like writing remotely. And I was quite lucky. Like before the pandemic hit, I was so late to it, but I invested in like getting a Mac, Logic, getting like all the good plugins and stuff. So that kept me busy over lockdown, just kind of writing. But they don't become Blue Eyed Giant songs until we're in the room and we've practiced them loads, and everybody's adding their different flavors to them. So that was difficult, kind of living with the recordings as just kind of like not real songs, if that makes sense, because they're just digital on the computer. And only sort of the last sort of month and a half, we've been going to rehearsal. And the first couple of rehearsals were a little bit like, we were quite rusty. But after that, we kind of like the songs have developed and they've evolved. And it's good. We're really excited. We're, really excited.
That's really cool. So to my understanding, you guys are still locked down, right, at the moment?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, actually, tomorrow's a big day for us because tomorrow they're opening up like indoors, so you can go into pubs and clubs and stuff and have a drink in like a group of 6, and then you can have a group of 30 people outdoors. But yeah, it feels really weird even saying that. Like even now, it feels weird even saying that you're not allowed to go out and meet more than like 6 people indoors. You know? That's
insane. Yeah, because it feels like where I live. It's kind of like, well, fortunately, they plan on reopening up and like doing away with the mask and all this stuff. And it kind of feels back to normal over here, but it's still at the same time. It's like, you know, I'm looking and seeing like what's going on in other countries. And it's like, wow, like, I don't know if this is good or bad, but it's the way it's going to go down. I don't really have a choice in the matter. Right. So are you guys vaccinated or?
Not yet.
Not yet.
We're not. So it's going down through the age ranges, and they've started with the oldest, going down to the youngest. But I think I could be wrong, but I think they're still in people in their 40s. I think 40s, 50s.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. I think they're in the 40s now. There was some talk recently. They were saying because there was this like scare about the Indian variant over here. So they were talking about maybe vaccinating younger groups first now, to kind of, because they're the ones that are most likely to be like mingling with each other anyway. But I think they kind of scrapped that and we're like, let's just keep doing what we're doing, because we've got over half the country vaccinated already, so it's going quickly.
Honestly, I'm kind of guilty because like I try to tune out the news as much as possible. I know that's probably a bad thing, it's probably a jaded thing to say, but like it's just, I don't know, it seems depressing to just see all the sadness all the time, and not to like ignore it or anything. That's not my intention, but I mean, it is. I guess it's like escapism, and that's why I live in this realm of metalcore, whatever, solitude, whatever you want to call it. How have you guys been dealing and coping lately? Just curious.
Nick, how you doing?
Well, it's like lockdown is just completely unnatural, isn't it? Because we're social creatures. So like throughout lockdown, it's been ups and downs. Like some days I'd feel fine, and then some days I'd just feel like just horrible, like just really, because I suffer from anxiety, and it just like triggered it like ridiculously. And there'd be periods where I would just like wake up, and as soon as I wake up, I just feel anxious and just like, oh God, just impending doom constantly.
Right.
And I was struggling for a while with it. I've struggled for ages with it, but because it would come and go, I got to a point where I was like, I need to sort this out. I need to figure out a way where I can just sort of not get rid of it, because you never really get rid of it, but like control it. And then I discovered meditation just before Christmas.
Oh wow!
And it was amazing. It has literally changed my life. It's incredible. So I really got into that, and I just do that every day now. Nice. For like 10 minutes in the morning, just to sort of get my mindset right. And it just puts things into perspective, and I just love it. I'd highly recommend it if anybody struggles with sort of anxiety or anything like that.
Yeah, definitely. I want to ask you about that. And I was like, damn, I don't want to cut anyone off. I just get super excited when someone mentions something that I'm like really interested in. But like meditation is something I've always wanted to get into, but don't really know how. Like how can you explain like how you do it, I guess?
So I started with there's an app called Headspace, and it's like a guided meditation, and it takes you through like day by day different sort of, you progress day by day, and some days it can be difficult to do, but it's basically, I'm terrible at explaining things, but I'll give it a go. But like so you look at the analogy of like, say there's a busy road, and there's all the cars are your thoughts, and the road is your mind. Instead of standing in the middle of the road, go sit on the side of the road, up on the grass verge, and just watch the cars go by. And that is basically the idea of meditation, is not to like get caught up in thought or think too much about like your thoughts, and just kind of take a step back, acknowledge the thoughts, but don't give them your full attention, if that makes sense. Don't let them get don't let yourself get carried away by thought, but accepting that the thoughts are there and happening. It sounds like easy to do, but it's really not. Like some days it's really hard to kind of to sort of focus, but yeah, once you sort of get better at it, it's an amazing tool to calm your nervous system and just calm the overthinking brain, I suppose.
That's so sick. I need to try it out. What about you, Jack? Do you meditate yourself, or like what are some things that you do?
Kind of. My mum's a bit of a hippie, and she's into like loads of like holistic medicine, and like she used to own like a crystal shop and that kind of stuff. So I grew up doing meditations with her. So that's always been quite a natural thing for me. But I don't really use it as much as a coping mechanism. I've actually been struggling with anxiety since I was about 13, was the first time I really noticed it having like a big effect on my life. And I finally decided to go to counselling about 2 years ago. So that for me really is how I kind of ended up dealing with that. And that was like a massive change. Like I've ever since I decided to go, I've been kind of promoting it to other people and just being like, if you feel like you're in a place where you're ready to really take it on, whatever issue you might be having, like it's always hard asking for help because you don't want to admit that something's wrong in the first place. you know.
Yeah.
And so I think like having social anxiety going into lockdown was almost like the first few weeks I was like, well, this is a blessing. I don't have to see anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. But actually it makes it a lot worse the longer you go without seeing other people.
That is really interesting. That is really interesting. Like, when's the last time you guys saw each other? Do you guys live around each other or?
Yesterday.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Do you guys get up often? Like on a band level or a friend level? Like, are you guys talking band stuff or are you guys just like kicking it like?
Bits of both, really. Yeah. Like the great thing about like the band is that it's always been the same 4 members, and we we're all friends first. And like we met at music uni in Brighton, a place called BIM, and we were just friends, weren't we? We were just like mates, and we just all like we get on like super well. And that's the best thing about the band, because you hear like stories of people like how people don't get on and egos, and there's like literally none of that. We're just mates and we just play music together, and it's great.
That's
kind of what it's always been about for us, you know. Like I think it's kind of what makes the music work almost, because there's no like other stuff involved. Like we're just there for each other. We're just there to have a good time, and luckily we think it sounds pretty good.
No, it definitely does. Yeah. No, you guys sound sick. The first music video, or the first music I heard, was the music video Radio Silence, and that was a really creative music video. Like who kind of thought a lot about those interesting ideas in that video?
We kind of I sat down and made like a basic storyboard for it, and then we all sat down together and like really fleshed it out. But we'd been wanting to do something funny for a while, you know, something that really, because we'd done the whole like let's look really moody and get some flashing lights going, you know. We'd done that whole thing, so we were like, let's do something that's like actually representative of our personalities.
That's so cool.
It kind of felt like the right song for it, I guess.
Yeah, and the whole day was just so fun to film. We just had fun like all day, and it was just it was good, and the song's quite energetic, so it wouldn't have made sense to do something kind of dark or anything like that. It was better just to keep it sort of just quite lighthearted and just have a laugh with it.
Yeah. No, it's definitely like one of the better music videos I've seen. I do a lot of reactions, and I see a lot of them, and you know, a lot of them are like performance style and stuff like that, or, you know, they're in a neon lit room or whatever. That's the whole like meme right now. But no, I think it's really cool. Like when, you know, obviously you take a budget and then you're like, okay, let's do what we can creatively with it, make this really interesting. And I think you guys definitely succeeded in that, and it's so sick.
Oh, cheers.
Yeah.
There's a behind the scenes video which will show you some of the
cool.
the more stupid parts on our Instagram if anyone wants to check that out. But yeah, like smashing ice cream onto each other's head and stuff.
That's so funny. All right, let's play a game. Let's spice it up a little bit. Let's get into the hot round, and it's either or band questions. And I'm sure you guys have heard of these bands. We'll get into it, but just say the first one that comes to mind. I don't have a lot here, so we'll get through these pretty quick. All right, I'll kick it off with the first one. Who wants to go first? We'll just establish an order on these.
Nick, do you want to go first?
Yeah, go on then. I'll go first. Why not? I was going to suggest you, but I was just like, it's all right. I'll do it. It's all right. Don't worry about it.
All right, so how this works is, Nick, you go first, and then you follow up, Jack, right behind him with your answer as well. And then we'll talk about your answer, of course. All right, so first one, Counterparts or Touche Amore?
Counterparts, probably, because I don't really listen to either. But is Touche Amore, are they the ones with the vocal and it's like almost like poetry?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, it's like shouty poetry. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Go on, Jack.
I'd go Touche Amore.
Okay, cool.
Because that vocal style, I think,
that's sick.
It just hits home.
Did you guys like the last album?
Honestly, I haven't really listened to either of them a lot. Like I've just heard bits.
No, that's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
To be honest, but Touche Amore, I'm just like, I don't know. Like there's a lot of memes about that vocal style, but there's something about it as well which is just quite like raw. Yeah. So I've not listened to like their whole back catalogue, but the tracks I have heard from them, they hit home a lot more. I think like there's just something about that raw energy, that raw vocal style that I just really appreciate. Yeah,
definitely. I was watching, I think it was like albums of the year list, whatever. And Sam Carter did his from last year, 2020. And 𝕹𝖳𝖜 was on there. And that's one of those bands that I've never really got into that heavy. And I've kind of like tried to turn that around and check them out a little bit more because of that. But I mean, that's my connection with that band, I guess. But anyway, let's get into the second one. This is going to be more of a shoegaze type thing. I don't know if you guys listened to this, but we'll give it a shot. Microwave or 100th?
Oh, 100th. I recently got into them. Sick. Their last album was so good. I like the whole thing. It's just banger after banger. So definitely 100th.
Yeah.
All right, sick.
They're sick. They're so fucking good, man. Actually, can we swear on this podcast? Is that all right?
Yeah, hell yeah. Dude, I mean, people smoked weed on here. Awesome. Yeah, anything goes. It's like the internet on here. I don't really give a shit. But all right, next one. Spirit Box or The Devil Wears Prada?
Spirit Box.
Oh, I'm going to say, controversially, The Devil Wears Prada. But only because I actually listened to The Devil Wears Prada, and I've never actually listened to Spirit Box before.
Really? Mate, Spirit Box is killing the game at the minute.
Yeah, they really... Yeah. I think as far as modern metal, they definitely are on that top box right now.
Yeah, just like... It's quite unique as well, because like there are a lot of female-fronted bands now, but I just think that Courtney is just really unique. I think she's got a really unique sounding voice, and her screams are mad good, and the riffs are sick, and the songwriting's just great. I just think that's why they're top of the metal game at the minute. They're just a great band.
Yeah, they are.
The Devil Wears Prada, though, they have like a special place in my heart because they used to play Underworld in Camden in London.
Oh, cool.
And that was like my I don't know what you'd call it. But like that's where I went when I was a kid. You know, that's where I got into like metal, and I used to watch them live. But I think they're like a Christian metal band. Is that right?
I think they kind of like got away from that whole place. I know that they were known for that in their earlier works or whatever. But I think now they're more of like it's not about that as much, to my understanding.
Okay.
Like they have a podcast, Prada Pod. And they were kind of talking about that on one episode. It was really interesting. But no, I like both bands a lot. I'm gonna flex right here. I actually got to listen to the new 𝕻𝖕𝖈 EP. The one that the new Devil Wears Prada EP that they're putting out, Z2.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I got to hear that already. It's fucking sick. I don't know. It got emailed to me through some promotion thing. Perks of being a podcast.
Yeah, that's sick.
Oh, it's super good, man. You guys are gonna love it. If you like heavy shit, and especially if you like 𝕻𝖕𝖈's the first EP, this one's really sick. Like it's only like 5 or 6 songs, but they rip and they're really interesting and creative. But that's a tough one. But I had to throw that one in there.
Yeah, no, they're wicked. Yeah.
All right, next question: Dragged Under or Normandy?
Normandy. I don't think I've ever listened to Dragged Under, but Normandy, they're great. They're just super catchy songs, really good production. Normandy.
Sick.
Yeah, same here actually. Normandy for sure. I remember hearing White Flag for the first time, and I was just like, damn, this hits different. You know,
that's a chorus, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's
they're just
such
massive.
A good band.
Yeah, they've got that huge sound to them. You know, there's there's like that whole scene at the minute of like them, Emarosa, like Don Broco. They're all doing that kind of like, it's almost like party rock, you know?
Yeah,
definitely. Not like cringe party rock like Attila kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, not hating. I'm just not a fan.
How dare you?
Do you guys like
Attila?
Attila?
Do you know what I mean?
Do you like Attila?
No. I'm all right.
All right, that's fine. I'm not gonna clip this and be like, this is what they think about Attila. Like, so yeah, I mean, you can say whatever.
No, but like, I'm all about doing your own thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't hate on them at all. It's just not for me.
I feel that.
I just think that like bands like Normandy and like that, Like they have like a proper artistic take on that kind of party rock thing. You know?
Yeah, they are really sick.
Yeah,
I recently got into them. I need to get more into them, but Dragged Under is a good band as well. You should check them out. Their guitarist is Fluff, and he's like a famous YouTuber, and that's kind of how I found out about the band. But they're a sick ass like band. They're kind of like punk but metal. I don't want to like classify them, but they're more like on the punk side of metal, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, that's cool.
They have this raw sound though. You should check them out. Like they're pretty. I wouldn't sleep on them for sure. They're kind of like Beartooth. You like Beartooth?
Yeah, I really like Beartooth.
All right, cool.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, Disease was a wicked album. That was cool.
All right, cool.
They're one of those bands I really want to see live as well. Beartooth.
Yeah. There's like a tour. Well, hopefully this tour sticks, but it's like Beartooth, I think Wage War and Dragged Under. I really want to see that because I just feel like it'll just be really like fun and like lit the whole time. And it'd be a good one to like drink and hang out.
Yeah.
I haven't been, dude.
Yeah.
What's the last show you guys been to?
Probably Periphery. Was that the last show we went to, Jack?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, with Pliny as support.
Yeah, that was sick. That was so good, that gig. That was mad good. It's terrible to say, but I just love getting like really waved at gigs. I just love just like drinking beer and getting pissed and then just going ham in the mosh pit. I love it. Even now still. But that was a great gig because like Pliny, you kind of just want to stand and watch because the musicianship is just next level. So we were just like, oh my God. But then Periphery came on. It was just time to go ham.
Oh, sick. Yeah. Those guys are so interesting. All right.
That
next
was wicked, actually.
Oh, my bad. All right, next one. This one's like on the heavier side. So I'm curious as to see what you guys will answer on this one. But Left to Suffer or Darko?
I don't know either of those bands.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I don't listen to either of them.
Fair enough.
Those bands.
Well, you should definitely check out Left to Suffer. They just dropped a new EP. Those guys are managed by some Fit for a King members. Do you like Fit for a King?
I've heard of them. Yeah.
Okay, well, they're managed by some of those guys. I know that. And Darko it's like a side project between Tom Barber and Josh from 𝕻𝖬𝖎, the drummer. To my knowledge, it's just like a 2-piece thing. But like, it's incredible. Like if you like deathcore, that style, you should definitely check out those two bands. You guys listen to deathcore?
𝕻𝖬𝖎. Yeah, I used to listen to 𝕻𝖬𝖎 all the time. Like they do Demons with Ryu?
Yeah.
How you say it. Yeah, and Dogs Get Put Down as well. Like when I was like 14, 15 years old, just like slamming that out in my bedroom. Like everyone in my family is just like, shut the fuck up. Because like, it's absolutely obscene music, but I love it. It's so good. Yeah, that's holds a special place in my childhood as well, for sure.
Oh, dude, I love 𝕻𝖬𝖎. Like that's still one of my favorite bands. And I don't know, I like all the recent stuff as well. Like, I don't know. It's just like maybe it's one of those things where like I've just liked them for so long, it doesn't matter what they drop. I'm like, I'm about it. Like whatever it is. I don't know what it is. Do you guys have bands like that? Or is there a band like that you're a fan of and you're just like anything they drop, I love it?
Yeah, probably Don Broco, actually. Like I found them back in like 2014, been listening to them, and like whatever they do, I'm like, yeah, this is great. Like even if everyone else is like, this is dog shit. But yeah, no, I love it. I love them. They're great.
I'm like that with there's a Scottish band called Biffy Clyro.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I've just been a massive fan of them since I was a kid. So they could drop anything and I'll just be fucking loving it. It's great.
Definitely. Those are two great bands that you guys mentioned, by the way. All right, next one. Holding Absence or Novelist?
I've not really listened to much Novelists, so I'd probably say Holding Absence, I reckon.
Yeah, I'd go with Holding Absence, but only because I've been listening to them for longer, really. But I did download that Novelist album, the most recent one, the other day, and listened through that because that was actually really good. Yeah, I do. So I appreciate both of them, but probably probably relate more to Holden Absence.
Dude, I love the new album, and I've recently just kind of got into that band as of like last year, I guess. But they're a sick find for me, and I know they're like one of my favorite sharp tone bands, whatever. They kind of sound nothing like all the other sharp tone bands, which is funny. But no, the sick album. I thought it was very masterful. Like, I love the way they ended it. It just felt like I was like listening to a movie, if that makes sense. But it just told the story. I don't know. It was very captivating. So I recommend it for sure.
Yeah, they're a great band. They're like, it's cool because like sharp tone are absolutely killing it, aren't they? Like,
all the bands
that are on there, it's
ridiculous.
And like none of like a lot of them sound different as well. It's like Don Broco. It's completely different to Holding Absence. Completely different to 𝕬𝖊. Completely different to Polaris. It's so cool. I really like the culture around that label. I think. It's some sick bands.
I love it. I've heard of there's like another record label that just started. I'm probably going to botch this name, but I think it's 𝕻𝖕𝖈 or something like that. It's a Germany-based group. Do you know Landmarks with the V? That band?
Yeah.
They're one of the bands on that label. I mean, it's not a very big label, but I don't know. I just feel like they're going to make some noise. That's just my prediction.
Cool. Yeah, Landmarks are a good band. I like that.
Yeah, I think they might be the band that just like kind of kicks them off. You know what I mean? Kicks that label off. You know, because they're a very good band. That last album was sick. Like, I've listened to Lost in a Wave, like the song, like so many times. It's probably one of the sickest breakdowns I've heard. Like, I don't know, it's pretty sick.
Sweet, yeah, I'll have to get into it.
Cool. Yeah, they're quite similar to a lot of the bands on Famined, actually. That kind of like genty kind of thing. Isn't it?
That's true. Yeah. I love Famined Records. I love the bands on that label as well. Like you guys, obviously, and Galleons, like we mentioned. Shout out Tom Byrne. I don't know. There's a lot of good other bands too.
Yeah, there's some sick bands on there, and like you said, it's quite diverse. Again, we'd probably be on the lighter side of things, but I'm a fan of a lot of the heavier stuff on there as well. So it's cool.
I like it all. Like, I don't know. I get tired of like really heavy. I get tired of like really soft. You know, like it's really mood dependent on like what I listen to, as it is for anyone, I'm sure. But you know how it is.
Yeah.
Like some days you're like, man, I want to listen to something like more upbeat and light and something I can sing to, and you know, whatever. So, you know, every dog has his day, I guess.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think it's like the nostalgia of metal is what always brings it back to me. You know, like I listen to everything, like literally like everything I can, anything that I enjoy. Like I'm not gonna not listen to something because it's by Justin Bieber, sort of thing. You know.
Yeah.
But like I think like the rock metal scene will always hold like a special place. You know, because it's just been there. So it's like it's got like more of a community, I think, than a lot of other scenes. You know.
I think so, definitely, because like I don't know. We'll get into like what you guys have been listening to lately. I want to ask one more and we'll get off this hot round. All right. So this is the last one. Hopefully you've heard of these two, but we'll see. But this is a little different. So if there was an alternative music stock market, who would you rather put stock in? Hot Mulligan or Kenny Hoopla?
I don't know either of them, but I'm going to say they're both great names, though. One isn't better than the other, and I'm like, oh, which is more out there? But they're both sick. Hot Mulligan, let's go with that one.
Yeah, I'm going to go the same because they're the only ones I have heard of. So I think I'll make more money back off of them.
Hot Mulligan, I've recently got into them. I heard them a lot being shouted out on this one podcast I used to listen to. So I decided to give them a chance. And their last album is really sick. If you're into like Midwest emo is what they call it. Kind of like, I don't know, like bands like Citizen. You heard of Citizen?
Oh, yeah.
Or love Citizen.
Like stuff like that. Basement. You know, there's tons of others, but something in the vein of that. Not totally like that, but you know, like shouty, emo, upbeat kind of stuff. And Kenny Hoopla is more of like straightforward, like pop punk. I know he's been working a lot with like Travis Barker, and he has a lot on his Spotify. I don't know the numbers exactly. I could pull it up, but dude, this kid's been killing it. not sure if it's a band thing, but I think it's just like a solo, and he has a band behind him. Whatever. Okay, so this he's got 1.5 million monthly listeners on Spotify. And I didn't even know I didn't know like it was like a thing, you know what I mean? I was just like, wow, this is a thing. And a lot of people are listening to this kid, so killing it right now. I don't know what else to say.
Travis Barker's like killing it with all the like young artists, isn't he?
He is.
They will have like this sort of like pop punk sound, but like way more polished, like super polished. And they all sound not all of them, but they sound like if that's where Blink-182 was going to go. Do you know what I mean? It's like they will have a similar kind of stuff, which is cool to see. Actually, it's cool to see sort of like the mainstream sort of being filled up with like pop punk stuff. It's cool.
That's really cool. I think it will like inevitably lead to, you know, people getting into heavier stuff, you know, and I think a lot of people are actually into heavy stuff right now, like Ghostmane. That dark trap is like really hot right now. Trap metal is really hot right now. Just kind of like this edgier, shouty, like hardcore rap thing. Killing it right now, dude. So
yeah, even like bands like Bring Me the Horizon, you know, doing collabs with like Youngblood, was it Aphex Twin or someone like that they did? But yeah, like I think they're like a leader in the scene at the minute. Like Bring Me the Horizon are just doing amazing things. They're incredible. But yeah, like you said, they're kind of going down that whole, like they have really marketable like poppy songs, but then they've got really dark shit. But everyone listens to all of it. Like when they started off, what's their new EP called, or new album? It's like Post-Human Survival.
Survival.
Like that.
Yeah, Survival Horror.
Yeah, like that first track on that is absolutely savage.
It is.
But like, but then like you go down a couple of tracks and like you could be listening to something that could be played on like Radio 1 or whatever like mainstream radios you guys have out in the US. Like they're such a like malleable band. I really respect them.
That is so, and like that honestly, they're one of my favorite bands, if not my favorite, because like I've listened to them for so long, and that's kind of what got me into like deathcore, so to speak. You know, even though like, dude, I've been like made fun of for liking this band. I've got made fun of for wearing their merch, like, you know, anything involved with this band, like I've went through it, like basically. Is there a band like that for you guys? Like, not really like a guilty pleasure, but a band where like you're not gonna be like, oh dude, I really fucking love, you know, Asking Alexandria or whatever.
Do you know what? Probably Bring Me Horizon, because I went to see them support Machine Head once, and they got booed off stage.
Jeez.
Like, because all of the Machine Head fans were like,
that
like,
crowd,
dudes. Yeah, exactly. And they were all like, oh fuck these like teenagers who are here with their like emo fringes, fucking hating. Like, and I was just like, and I was there with my emo fringe, like, fucking, I'm one of these guys. That's
so funny.
And yeah, like, they're definitely them. Like, it's been mad watching them go from like one of the most hated bands in the scene to like absolute kings, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It is strange. Well, anyway, dudes, thanks for playing the hot round. We got through those. Hope you guys had fun with that. It's a little stupid ass game I play, but okay, it's time to take a break. It is time to take the commercial break, yes. And honestly, that just means that we're going to play today's hidden gem, which is the first song I heard by Blue Eyed Giants, and it's called Radio Silence. And as mentioned in the podcast, they have an awesome music video for this. It's very creative. It's a whole lot of fun. It reminded me of like, you know, like older, you know, music videos that used to be on MTV that just used to be fun and just creative, energetic, whatever adjective you want me to throw out there. But you need to check it out, okay? But here's the song, okay? So this week's hidden gem, Radio Silence by Blue Eyed Giants. Play that shit. Let's go.
So fuck up. wanna talk again. I've lost my way. Running on till find me relief. I can't let go. I've lost my way. Radio, radio silence. I've lost my way.
And we're back.
Yeah. Cheers.
All right. I want to talk a little bit about your music before we start kind of wrapping it up at the end. But so you guys have just released Restless. Like, how has that been going? And you have a music video attached with that as well, from a few weeks ago. So how's that been doing?
Yeah, it was cool. Like, the video was cool because like we were in lockdown and we couldn't like shoot anything like properly, in a building or anything like that. So we were like, oh, what can we do? So we were trying to like brainstorm some ideas, and we were just like, we could just go for like a beach walk, we said like a park, and we were like, let's just walk around a nice park. I don't know. We didn't really know what to do, and then we got down to the park at like, because we wanted to do it at golden hour, but if you do it in the evening, it'd just be way too many people. Yeah. So we were like, let's get up like super early. Let's get down there for like 6 a.m. But we got down there and we got so lucky with the weather. And we were just like, let's just do it on the beach. And because there was nobody there. So we just did like this one take thing, because we needed to have some sort of visuals for the single. Mm-hmm. But it's been cool. Yeah, it's been good. Like, the views are okay on the YouTube. Our streams aren't great on the Spotify. But Sam Carter from Architects he commented on the video on our Instagram. Wow. He was just like, he said, oh yeah, let's talk about that vocal or something like that. So he was into it, which was really cool. So yeah, that was pretty cool. Even if the streams aren't great, like getting somebody's sort of somebody of his ilk's opinion on it was really cool.
That is really cool.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, they're local to us as well, Architects, because they're a Brighton band as well. So we've seen him around a couple of times. He actually turned up to a show we played once, but not to see us.
Yeah.
We'd like to definitely sit down, have a chat, have a beer with him one day. That'd be cool.
That'd be cool at the least. Yeah. I'm sure when shows open up again, has there been any mention of shows opening up for you guys?
Yeah, they've said so by June 21st, everything should be back to normal here.
Oh wow! Okay,
this is what they've said, and it does feel like that's sort of what's happening, because they're having test events as well. Like there was a football match yesterday, and they had in Wembley Stadium they had 22,000 people in there. Wow. So these are all like, and there were a few, I think there was some gigs in Liverpool, like warehouse raves, and they're all test events to see, if the rates are going to go up, and how much they're going to go up, or but things are looking pretty positive.
Nice.
So we got a gig in August, and in July. So fingers crossed they sort of go ahead, but it's looking positive.
That's so cool. I know you guys are ready to get out there, and I'm sure you guys. So like, has there been talk amongst the band of like playing live shows?
Yeah,
we've been planning it quite a lot actually, haven't we?
Yeah, we just want to make our live show like so much better, like because we want to go on in-ears, and we're going to invest in some lights, so that we can just sort of take around, because we're not going to be playing like massive venues. So it'd be cool just to like have a really cool setup with like what kind of, I can't remember what they're called, these batten lights that you can control.
Like strip lights kind of.
Yeah.
Okay.
you can control via MIDI along with the backing track, so we can have really cool parts with the lights and all sorts. And it's just trying to get all that together, and hopefully sort of by the end of the year we can maybe go on tour. But yeah, fingers crossed for everything.
Yeah, we want to make it into like an actual show, you know, because like at our stage where we're at the minute, we can play like a lot of gigs. We can play as many or as few gigs as we like, really, but they tend to feel quite samey because of the size of venue that we're playing. So you don't get that opportunity to have like a lighting technician that's just going to be in-house doing stuff for you anyway, you know. So you got to think of things to make yourself stand out musically and visually. You know, we want to be able to pull as many people down as possible, but you got to give them a reason to show up other than just like 4 dudes smiling, playing guitar together, you know.
yeah, that makes sense. All right, so brief history about the band. I'm curious as to, you know, you guys said you were all mates before, and basically you guys, you know, clicked. So how new is the band?
We got together in 2015, and because me and the drummer were going to have just as part of our module on our course, we just had to like write a few songs, and I was on the drum course with him. So we had like all the same classes, and I was like, I play a little bit guitar. Let's go down and see if we can just write some songs. And then a project that me and Jack were in was sort of finishing up, and we were a bit disappointed. We were like, that's a shame. And then on the bus ride home, I was like, Jack, I'm having this rehearsal with this guy, this drummer I know, next week. Come along if you want, just add some bass to it. Could be quite fun. And then Jack was like, he was like, I nearly didn't show up, because you were thinking about it, weren't you? And then you were like, you're going to bail.
Yeah, well, I was sat on my sofa, just like baked as fuck, just watching like playing some Halo, and I was just like, I've got to go down and play bass for like my mate, and I'm just not about it. And I literally was about to pick up the phone and be like, look, dude, like I'm just not in the mood today. But I was like, fuck it, I'll go down anyway. And then like 4 hours later, I was in a band, and I was like,
that's great.
We were like jamming, and then it was going really well. And then me and Joe, the drummer, went out to get some beers. And on the way, Joe was like, let's just make this a band, man. This is great. And I was like, yeah, that'd be cool. So I get in the rehearsal room, and the first thing, like Jack says it so politely, the first thing is like, hey guys, I'd really like to continue playing with you guys if that's okay. I was just like, yeah, man, cool. We're a band now. That's cool.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And then we played a few. We were together for like maybe like a year, and then I met my former girlfriend, and she was Australian, so she had like 6 months left on her visa. So I had like a choice to make at that point. I was like, do I go and pursue love, or do I go and do like band stuff? And then I was like, oh god, if I could go over for a bit and then I could come back. And then we went on hiatus about 2016. Then I moved to Oz for like a year and a half.
Oh wow!
And then I moved back, and like I was supposed to go back to Oz, but we had like rehearsals like just for the fun of it, and it was still there. And I was like, oh no! We actually wrote and recorded Restless in that time. So we recorded Restless in 2018. So we've been sat on it for this long because there was never a right time to release it. But yeah, we wrote and recorded that, and we listened to it, and we were like, oh no. I was like, I can't go back now. I was like, I need to pursue this. So yeah, it was, and then we just got back together, and then got lucky on Dreambound, and then we got picked up by Famined, and yeah, we've just been carrying on ever since.
It was a bit of a bitter pill to swallow with 𝕻𝖊𝖜, because we recorded the Black and Blue EP, and that went down really well, like locally for us, like that went down well. And then we had this like final gig, and we like packed out this venue, and like everyone was actually like singing our songs back to us and shit. And we were like, and then we were all like, okay, bye. You know what I mean? Like, so it felt like we were like just about to like have a bit of a break locally, and then Nick justifiably followed his heart to the other side of the world. And
Sorry.
Then, and then yeah, like when he came back though, I think there was definitely a change that we almost needed that time, because we were enjoying what we were doing before, but we weren't really taking it seriously. You know, we were just like, this is really fun. Like, we love doing it. But now for us, like, this is really something that we're chasing, and I think we all have a lot more like motivation now.
Yeah, that's really cool. Well, I'm sure you guys will do it, man. I think you know, motivation and passion, dude, that shit goes so far. You know, like, what's the saying? Like, hard work beats talent when talent's not hard working. I mean, not saying you guys aren't talented, but you know how it is. Like, a lot of people are kind of lazy too, though. You know, like, they don't put out stuff, and you know how it goes. I think
I know what you mean.
I think you guys are definitely on your way up for sure. So like, lastly, before we head out, I want to play one more game if that's cool. And it's not really like going to be this long thing. I just want to know what you guys have been listening to lately. If you have to pull out your phone or Spotify or whatever the hell, or just whatever's off the top, that's fine. So tell me like 5 bands that you're just like really into lately, and we can plug those.
Does it have to be metal stuff, or can it just be?
Oh, it just be whatever, dude. Whatever you want.
Okay, cool. All right. So first one is that I'm listening to at the minute is the new 𝕋𝖍𝖎 album.
Sick. Okay.
𝕋𝖍𝖎, because they're one of those bands that, like, I feel like if they were born 40 years ago, they'd still be as massive as they are now.
Yeah.
Like, they've like perfectly combined that like older Iron Maiden, Metallica sound with like real modern metal.
That's so true.
And they've got their own spin on it. And they're just really interesting people. Like, they go out with like Sea Shepherd and like do all that kind of stuff. So yeah, them, Bill Murray.
Sick.
Murray.
Yeah.
I don't know how to say it right, but yeah, I think it's just Bill Murray.
Yeah, Bill Murray.
Yeah, he's wicked. I love his like his visuals, the whole like meme culture.
Yeah, he's so funny, dude.
Yeah, he's funny. While She Sleeps, they've got a new album out.
Nice.
As well.
I love that new album.
There's that's 3, isn't it? Yeah. There's actually. Are you based in LA?
No, North Carolina.
You're North Carolina. Okay,
yeah.
Cool. Well, there's this LA band called Chief, who I think are quite small at the minute, but they're this kind of like synth wave, like synth pop kind of band. They're definitely worth checking out. They got a band called they got a song called Forget Your Name, so that's worth checking out if anyone's into that kind of stuff.
Hell yeah.
And then new Architects album. That's really
love it.
At the minute. Yeah.
Love the list. That's a solid 5 for sure.
Yeah, I like them. They're all good bands.
For me, the new Era album. That's so good, man.
So
like,
good.
It's just sick. I've just been like anytime I'm in the car, I just put that on from the beginning to the end because it's just great, proper heavy, just catchy, just
Scorpion Hymn.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's such a banger. Oh my god,
it's so good. Yeah.
Number 2 would be that 100th album, the Somewhere Nowhere album. I recently discovered it like over the last couple of months, and it's great. I love when you find an album where you can literally just put it on from start to finish and not want to skip anything. That's great. It's proper. I don't know. I just love the just the vocal style. It's like nothing crazy, but just like this kind of just beautiful wall of sound, I suppose.
Yeah, it's smooth.
Yeah, it's great. I didn't realize because I listened to some of their older songs before that, and I was like, well, they're a hardcore band. I was like,
that's crazy.
But I appreciate the fact that they're not standing still. I love that. I love when people like bands just go out and just try new things and experiment. It's great. It's what sort of being an artist is.
Definitely. I love it.
Number 3 is, this is a weird one. There's this band called the 𝕬🊬, and they're like this kind of like traditional Irish music. Cool. So you've got like flutes and like you've got a drum kit and a bass and an acoustic guitar, and everything's recorded like really dry, but it just sounds really good. It's just great musicianship, and I grew up in Ireland, so I like diddly music.
That's cool. Yeah.
Like the bass player from 𝕊𝖜 he plays in that band. So they're really cool if you're into diddly music. The 4th, I don't know. I've been listening to the new Royal Blood, which is pretty cool.
Nice, yeah.
Cool songs on that.
It's a good album, yeah.
Yeah, I like
It's good.
The drums are like super compressed, and it's almost like kind of R&B kind of vibe. Like,
yeah, I can see that.
It's proper sick. And then the fifth, what else have I been listening to? Lots of Loathe. I really like Loathe.
Oh yeah,
nice.
That last album was just ridiculous. It's just great. It's just like Deftones on steroids. It's great.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, definitely. I grew up listening to Deftones, and they were the first vinyl I ever heard, which is kind of weird to say, but dude, I grew up loving them, and just hearing like Deftones with like these really harsh like vocals, or like these breakdowns that go so heavy. I love it. I'm like so in love with that band. I love what they're doing. That last instrumental album was really interesting as well.
Yeah, it's quite like cinematic as well, isn't it? It's like it's almost like, but like from a Stanley Kubrick film or something like that. It's very like it's quite dark. But yeah, they're such a sick band. It's like similar to like Holding Absence. They're just doing their own thing and just like just making it their own, and that's why they're killing it. But
definitely,
yeah,
they're so artsy, and I love that. I love that artsy shit. I love it.
Yeah, they're wicked. You could actually meditate to that whole album, probably.
Probably could. You should try it out, Nick, and tell us how it goes.
Tomorrow morning.
Yeah, give it a test run. Let us know. Yeah. I'll share some of mine. Have you heard of the band Salem by chance? Have you heard of the band Creeper?
Creeper, yeah, Creeper.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pretty sure it's like a side project of some members from that band, to my knowledge. Maybe just the singer, I'm not sure. But Salem, they just dropped Salem 2 EP, and I've been listening to that a lot. It's sick. It's really cool. I don't know, you'll like the vibe. It's like this tattoo art, and it's emo, and it's really cool. I love it. I've been listening to a lot of Suicide Boys lately. I don't know if you guys like listen to rap at all, but I've been liking this like dark rap thing. I think it's just because I work in a kitchen, and a lot of the guys there listen to it, so I end up listening to it a lot. But I listen to them. Darko, the band I mentioned before. Dragged Under, another band I mentioned. This band that I did a podcast with recently, I really like them. The Undertaking. They're a new Solid State band on that label, and they're kind of like a Norma Jean kind of thing, or like something in vein of that, I guess. The Chariot, if you like the Chariot, kind of like that. And then Left to Suffer. So that's like 6 that I've been like on lately.
Oh, sick.
That's cool. So do you listen mostly to like metalcore and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I'm a huge metalcore head, dude. I'm just like going through my phone, but yeah, it's a lot of metalcore and deathcore, stuff like that. Emo.
Do you listen to that band what are they called?
Windrunner.
Just find them. No, Windrunner are on Famined, aren't they?
Yeah, that's who I thought you meant. Sorry.
They're that Vietnamese band. I think they're Vietnamese. No, they're called Windwalker or Windwaker, something like that.
I haven't. No,
they're definitely worth a listen.
Okay.
Yeah, they've got an EP out called Empire. They're
sick.
They're a sick band. Yeah.
Oh, shout out to this other band. They, I found them the other day. What they call Mood Ring. I think they're quite a new band.
Yeah.
But they've got some bangers. Like it's that sort of like grunge, sort of modern grunge sound, but like heavier. And it's and the vocals sound great. Yeah, so yeah, definitely check out Mood Ring. They're definitely up there at the minute. They're sick.
Good. They're good.
I'm going to share some bands I just recently added that I'm still trying to deep dive. I'm just going to run them off. All right, so Tillian dropped a new album. I'm still getting through that from Dance Gavin Dance. I don't know if you guys like that band.
Yeah.
So he just dropped a new album. I heard it's very Dance Gavin Dancey. So if you like that, you'll definitely like the new album. It's called Factory Reset. Another band, Chapel. I don't know if you heard of this band, but they dropped an EP called Room Service. It's 4 songs, super easy listen. It's really cool. Porter Robinson, you guys heard of them?
No.
Electronic band. It's supposed to be really good. You guys, if you like EDM kind of stuff, I heard that's a really good one. Action Adventure is a new pop punk kind of band I've found. a new deathcore band, Crown Magnetar, is really sick. The Codex of Flesh. It's really funny. It's a really sick album, honestly. Like, and it's kind of comparable to the new Brain of Sacrifice album. Such a sick album. And then lastly, Manchester Orchestra. I don't know if you heard of them.
I've heard of them. No. Loads of people are like talking about them at the minute. I think I need to give them a go.
Good. All right, yeah, you should definitely listen to this. The album is called 𝕻𝖎𝖈 Masks of God. Manchester Orchestra. You should check that out.
Sick. That's going on the list. 100%.
And here's what I do. I usually play back the episode and the part where like we're plugging bands, and I'm like, I got my phone out and I'm just like, searching them all out. So I'll try my best to put these in the description, but there's no guarantee. And there's our shameless plugs, man. Thanks for plugging bands, dude. It's really cool. I know everyone likes talking about themselves, but it's good to give back. I'm just kidding. But that's kind of like my philosophy with a lot of things. I'm like, you know what everyone likes to talk about? Themselves. So let them talk about themselves a little bit.
Yeah. Everybody listen to Blue Eyed Giants.
It's nice to not make it about because a lot of bands, like when they start out or something, they think of it as like a competition.
Oh God, yeah.
Like they're like, I don't want anyone else at the gig to sound good because then we'll sound better. And you're like, you can't think that way.
That's not how this works.
Spreading the love.
Go play music with your mates. That's what it's all about. And just having a laugh. We always just have a laugh on stage. If I see somebody I know, I'm just cracking up, or there'll be like an inside joke and somebody will say something when we're up there or something, and I'll just crack up laughing. It's terrible, but it's not very serious, but have fun.
That's sick.
Yeah.
Who are some bands that you guys are super like close to? Just curious.
Well, we're playing a couple of gigs with coming up soon. A band called 𝕻𝖎𝖈, who we've been mates with for a while. I used to play in a band with their guitar player as well.
I've heard of them. Yeah.
Shout. Yeah,
I've heard of that band. Yeah.
Wicked. Yeah, they're wicked. They're really good, and they've got a new single coming out next week, I think, called "Hold On."
Okay.
And then Five Kites, who Nick is probably their biggest fangirl.
Oh, I love Five Kites. Five Kites are sick. It's like they're like a three-piece, quite grungy. It's like kind of like if Biffy meets Feeder, and like they had a baby, you get Five Kites. It's sick. I just really like the riffs. I really like that band.
They should be like a really big band. But I think the dudes in it are just so chill. They're just they're just like, we're just putting out this fucking awesome music, but we don't care,
That's cool.
It's just cool rock music. So it's they're pretty cool. But because we haven't played a gig in ages. Oh, 𝕻𝖎, shout out 𝕻𝖎, Justin's band. Our mate Justin.
Led by Lanterns as well.
Yeah, playing with them. That'd be cool.
If you're into like pop punk stuff, there's a band called Little Moth. There's a band called Drones as well. They're pretty cool.
I'll check them out. I love pop punk. It's like my thing. Yeah. Honestly, it's like mainly what I listen to. A lot of metalcore and a lot of pop punk. I love shit to sing along to. I love it. I love the catchy stuff.
Do you like 4 Years Strong?
I do, but I'm not a huge like fangirl about them. But they're a sick band though. Like, much respect.
We got into them. I'd never heard of them before, and then people in the comments of Radio Silence, where everybody was like, "Oh, it sounds like 4 Years Strong," and it's funny when like you get compared to like other bands, but I've never listened to them before, and it just makes me laugh, and like I definitely heard it once I listened to them. I was like, "Oh God, we sound fairly similar in that song." Like Joe, the drummer, was just like, "You sound like the singer, mate," and I was like, Oh, really? Cool. I'll take that.
Another band I want to get into, you guys have probably heard of them, but Patient 67.
I've not heard of them, no.
Okay.
I've not heard of them, no.
They like put out a newer album. I think they're on like a lot of like, they're on your radio station for Spotify. I saw them a lot in that radio station. And from what I've heard, it kind of sounds like a harder easycore, but it's cool. I'm like for it. Like I'm all about it. And they have some heavier songs. Oh, another band is Hawk. It's just That's it, Hawk. But they are a really awesome metalcore band. Yeah.
How do you spell that? It's like HOK.
No, it's just Hawk. It's just like Tony Hawk.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, like Hawk, yeah. It's super sick, yeah. But anyway, I'm sure we can talk shit about bands all day, but I'm gonna let you guys go. I'm gonna respect your time. I think you've given me a lot here, and I appreciate your time, dude. Is there anything that you guys want to say to anyone who's still possibly around listening before we head out?
If you're in the UK, we've got a couple of gigs coming up. So 22nd of July, we'll be playing London with 𝕺𝖎𝖈 and the 7th of August, we'll be playing Green Door Store in Brighton. So definitely come along to those. And we've got another song coming out in the next few months as well called 𝕺𝖎𝖈. So if you like what you hear so far, stick around for that.
Yeah,
sick.
That'll be out in July. And then what's the other thing? Oh yeah, we're recording an EP not next month, in July. So hopefully after the single, then that'll be ready to go. So we're excited about that as well. So should be cool.
Sick. And we'll have to get up again when you drop that, and we'll do this again. We'll have some beers. We'll do some proper drinking on the show.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for listening, everyone. We're gonna get out of here. Peace and love. That pretty much does it for the podcast today, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you made it this far, I really do appreciate it. Why am I yelling? I don't know. I'm just excited. I'm just glad you guys are here. And honestly, if you want to support the podcast, there are links down below in the description. It is through Anchor, which is the distributor of this podcast. So you can donate as much or as little as you want. All donations are greatly appreciated. You don't have to donate anything, though. Don't feel obligated, because you can also just share, leave an awesome rating. There are other ways that you can help support it. And you know what? All of it is just really, really appreciated. Shout out Blue Eyed Giants. Thank you, Nick and Jack, for your time. And shout out Famined Records. You guys should check out some other bands under that label if you're looking for more bands to listen to and get into. All right, well, anyway, I'm going to get out of here. Hopefully you tune in next week. Okay? Have a good one, guys. Take care. Shine on.
Hell yeah.